Hi. Welcome to video 2. In this video, we'll look at a few more polynym examples, and then we'll look at polynyms in terms of theoretical and conceptual frameworks, and then finally, we'll look at the polynym database. But first, we'll discuss polynyms in terms of library classification. Let's consider the two extremes in classification schemes. We'll start with faceted classification. Basically, any subject or class can be analyzed into its component parts. We'll use an example of a universal faceted classification scheme. It's from an early faceted, or analytico-synthetic, classification system. It is also called Kuhlin classification. The facets are personality, matter, energy, space, and time or P, M, E, S, T. Here's an example. Say you're interested in car manufacturing. Manufacturing falls under energy or E. The car model falls under matter or M. The period of car manufacturing falls under time or T. The place of manufacturing falls under space or S. The name of the manufacturer falls under personality or P. Each facet can then be further refined with new facet structures. Then, on the other extreme, there's the enumerative classification scheme. It lists all the specific subject classes, attempts to assign headings for every subject. Alphabetically enumerates subjects, but creates long lists of classes. Many library classification schemes combine the enumerative and faceted classification techniques. Basically, a polynym is like a faceted classification scheme. It targets a topic. The target topic is analyzed into the component parts of the given polynym. A polynym represents a basic unit or system. If the topic is about the senses, we might think of it in terms of the 5 types of senses: sight, taste, touch, hearing, and smell. This is a pentonym. Or think of sense perception as a step-by-step procedure, as suggested by James Gibson. The mind selects, organizes, then interprets that which is sensed. This is a trionym. Or the steps can be thought of in terms of signal, collection, transduction, processing, and action. This is a pentonym. Or sense can be thought of in terms of the human nervous system. Consider basic parts working together such as brain, spinal cord, ganglion, and nerve. This is a tetronym. We can divide that up into a more general polynym such as the central nervous system and the peripheral nervous system. 2 dimensions, or a duonym. These are all polynyms. A strategic set of dimensions used to think about something. In normal human use, polynyms can provide literal or figurative understanding. In the database, every polynym is either a part, step, or type. This too is a polynym. We can consider polynyms in terms of conceptual and theoretical frameworks. Because of the way polynyms are entered into the database, as we'll see, it's probably best to think of the polynym as a conceptual framework and the theoretical framework as the area of study. While the area of study is the broader scope and is more general and provides the basic foundation for a research, the conceptual framework and polynym provides a narrower scope and is more specific. It provides the paradigm for analysis. As a good example, here's a popular construct in the area of psychology that many people seem to know. Especially when it comes to literature and movies, like The Lord of the Rings and The Matrix. The dimensions are id, ego, and superego. And together make up the parts of the human psyche, but are often played out as types interacting in a society. As already mentioned, in the database, every polynym is either a part, step, or type. In this representation, you have the dimensions, the name, the relation, the source, the area, and the dimension number. In the next example, we see the relation function, type. Where thinking, feeling, sensing, and intuitive are the 4 basic types of personality. For many people, this is a strategic way to understand personality differences. In the next example, we have the relation function, step, and 5 dimensions: denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. 5 different stages of grief. Entering polynyms in the data field is simple and straightforward. You enter the name, the area, the dimensions, the number of dimensions. Specify the relation function as part, step, or type. Enter the source, the username, some info, and a URL to learn something about the polynym. Here's a screenshot of the polynym database. Pause the video and check it out. Polynym data can be applied to knowledge graphs either as a single polynym domain or as distinct polynyms relating to one another. Polynyms provide a resource for programmers to play around with the ways machines might best operate in or between multifaceted systems. So, when using an idea set net or polynym network, the goal is to make these operations more natural and human-like. First, polynyms are collected and then networks are constructed, both by hand and by deep learning programs, one assisting the other. Improving the interface between humans and machines in regards to collecting this kind of data is another very important goal. And finally, although we are enthusiastic about collecting established polynyms, all polynyms are welcomed. Classic or new. Add your polynyms and a URL regarding the project or ideas that your polynyms represent. In the next video, video 3, we'll discuss polynyms in terms of an action-based theory of context. Thanks so much for watching, and remember to contact us at polynyms@gmail.com.